Okay, so today we're going to dive into some really interesting stuff you've been sharing.
Yeah.
It's about like how we grow as individuals
Yeah.
and how that all ties into like the bigger picture,
Yeah.
like the whole world around us.
hmm
We've got snippets from Carnage 1nOnly's YouTube, stuff about community and spirituality,
Yeah.
even thoughts on uh, like what it means to make art together.
Oh, cool.
We're even going to touch on knowledge itself.
Wow, this is going to be wide-ranging.
Yeah.
Love it.
And like the goal here is to see how all these pieces fit together.
Right.
Maybe offer a new way of seeing your own potential, both for growth and connecting with everything around you.
It's really fascinating when you start to see the connections between these seemingly disparate ideas.
Absolutely.
Like how individual creativity can actually fuel the collective experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And how, the things we go through, both individually and together, can actually contribute to our evolution.
Yeah, and speaking of individual creativity,
Right.
we've got to start with Neville Goddard.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, Carnage 1nOnly's been sharing a lot about him.
Yeah, he's a fascinating thinker.
Yeah, and like this whole idea that our imagination is more than just like daydreaming,
Oh, right.
It's like he's saying it's a real force,
Mm.
a force that like shapes reality.
Yeah, it's like every time you imagine something vividly, you're basically laying down the blueprint for it to become real.
Whoa,
Right.
kind of a big responsibility.
It is, yeah. It asks us to be mindful of what we're focusing on and how we're using our imaginations.
So it's not just an escape.
Exactly.
It's like this engine of creation.
Yeah. And, when you combine that with what Alan Watts said about faith being a leap into the unknown.
Oh, yeah, he said that.
Yeah, in the same YouTube video,
okay.
it's like you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know exactly how it's going to work. You just got to take that leap
Right.
and trust the process.
Yeah, it's more about like embracing the present moment
Mm-hmm.
than trying to like predict or control the future.
Right. And this ties into the Buddhist teachings too, right?
Yeah.
About how our intentions and our actions shape our reality.
Yeah, that definitely came up.
It's really empowering when you think about it.
It is.
It puts you in the driver's seat.
Mhm.
It says, hey, you're not just a passenger in life.
Right.
You have the power to steer your own course.
Yeah, you're not just like along for the ride,
Exactly. And then, we can layer on Jung's idea of the God archetype within.
The God archetype.
Yeah.
That sounds intense.
It does, but it's not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay.
When Jung talks about the God archetype, he's not necessarily talking about a specific deity from any religion.
Okay.
It's more like this innate sense of wholeness.
Okay.
Like a deep well of potential that exists within every single one of us.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's more about like inner wisdom
Exactly.
than external guidance.
Yeah, it's like trusting your gut,
Mhm.
that inner voice that knows what's right for you.
What's really striking to me is how we go from this focus on the individual
Yeah.
to this sense of like radical interconnectedness.
Oh, absolutely. That's a major theme that runs through a lot of what you've been sharing.
Right, like you're unique, you're totally one of a kind,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also part of this much bigger web of life.
Yeah, it's like your uniqueness is what makes the tapestry so rich and vibrant.
That's a great way to put it.
Your individual talents, your experiences, your perspective, they all contribute to the whole.
It's not just for you, right?
Exactly. It's meant to be shared.
And Alan Watts, he makes this point too, right?
Yeah, he talks about how unhappiness often stems not from the situations themselves,
Right.
but from our thoughts about those situations.
Yeah, like how we frame things in our minds.
Yeah, so if we're constantly thinking about how separate we are,
Oh.
that's the reality we're going to create for ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we shift our perspective and start seeing the interconnectedness of all things,
Yeah.
it changes everything.
And this whole thing about self-love,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Huge.
Like that Buddha teaching about extending that same love and compassion to all beings.
That's so powerful.
It really drives this point home.
Yeah, it's like you can't truly connect with others
Right.
until you have that foundation of love and acceptance for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inside job.
Right.
It starts with you.
Yeah, it radiates outward.
Exactly. And what really captures this beautifully?
Yeah.
That poem you shared.
Oh yeah, the one about like The individual merging with unity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That sense of oneness with the collective and even the divine. It's
Yeah.
like all these different aspects are ultimately expressions of the same interconnected reality.
Now I kind of want to shift gears a little bit. Talk about something that a lot of people don't like to talk about.
Oh, what's that?
Suffering.
Yeah, suffering.
But what's really interesting is
Yeah.
across all these different sources,
Right.
there's this idea that it can be transformative.
It's not about glorifying suffering.
No, not at all.
It's about recognizing that it's a part of life
Right.
and that it has the potential to teach us something.
Yeah, yeah.
Carnage 1nOnly's own journey.
Oh, yeah, the darkest depth thing.
Exactly.
To the pinnacle of hope and redemption.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. It's a reminder that we can come out the other side.
Yeah, and stronger, too.
Stronger, wiser, more compassionate.
The sources really highlight how challenges can force us to look inward, to do some serious self-reflection.
Right.
And that can lead to some pretty big spiritual growth.
Absolutely. It's like when we're forced to confront our limitations, that's when we have the opportunity to break through them.
Yeah, to grow beyond them.
Exactly. And then there's this idea of spiritual resonance.
Spiritual resonance.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed how sometimes going through difficult times can actually deepen your faith? It's
Yeah.
like the trials amplify our connection to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, like we're leaning on something or someone for support.
Exactly. And, the sermon you shared really emphasized this point.
Oh, yeah.
It said that overcoming doesn't always mean the absence of pain.
Okay.
It's more about transforming how we relate to it, finding a deeper meaning in it,
Right.
even a divine meaning.
Yeah, and that reminds me of the Psalms of Carnage 1nOnly,
Oh, yeah, those are powerful.
where he calls pain a sacred chisel.
Wow.
It's like it's shaping us,
It is.
revealing these hidden patterns.
Yeah, it's like the pain is sculpting us,
Mm-hmm.
refining us.
Yeah. And, speaking of transformation,
Yeah.
there's this whole theme of creativity as healing
Oh, absolutely.
and connection, too.
Creativity is such a powerful force.
It is.
It allows us to express ourselves, to process our emotions, to connect with others.
Carnage 1nOnly's experience, using art and music to deal with his trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really good example of that.
It's like he's taking all that inner turmoil and giving it a form.
Right, an outlet.
Yeah.
And it's not just for him.
No, it's not just for him.
Like, other people can see it, hear it,
And connect with it.
connect with it.
Yeah, it becomes a bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
He's using his lyrics as communication, as a release, as healing.
It's finding your voice
It is.
in a very literal sense,
It is.
but also like metaphorically too.
Absolutely. And this idea of transforming pain into art,
Yeah.
finding meaning through suffering, that's a central theme here.
It's about taking something that hurts
Yeah.
and turning it into something beautiful.
Yeah, alchemizing it.
And then there's the ground up trust perspective.
Oh, right.
They see creative expression as a direct link to the sacred, even a form of worship.
Yeah, it's like art as a way to connect with something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual expression either.
Right.
There's the collaborative aspect of art too.
Yeah.
Making art together.
Yeah, like community murals and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's a way to build community.
It is.
To strengthen connections and even address like social issues.
Yeah, it can be really powerful.
It's like art as a shared experience.
Yeah. And you know what's really cool about collaborative art?
What?
It's that shared vulnerability.
Oh, okay.
People coming together from different backgrounds, different perspectives,
Right.
and creating something beautiful together.
Yeah, like the Brush Strokes of Hope project.
Exactly.
Using art therapy in a group setting.
Yeah, it's like you're not alone in your struggles.
Yeah. And you can find healing through that shared experience.
So we've talked about like inner power, interconnectedness, the transformative power of suffering, and creativity.
That's a lot, right?
It is.
They're all connected.
It is. And now I want to talk about knowledge.
Oh, interesting.
Like, what is knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we know what we know?
Yeah, epistemology.
You shared some really interesting thoughts about the political nature of knowledge.
Oh, right.
This idea that knowledge isn't neutral.
Yeah, it's never just facts floating out there in a vacuum.
Right.
It's always embedded in a context, a
Yeah.
social, cultural, political context.
Right. So, like, who's producing the knowledge?
Exactly.
Who's benefiting from it?
Yeah, and whose voices are being silenced or marginalized.
Yeah. And then there's this whole thing about the tyranny of certainty.
Oh,
Like this Western obsession with having all the answers,
right.
like black and white thinking.
Yeah, it's like we're so uncomfortable with ambiguity, with uncertainty.
Yeah.
But what if embracing the unknown was actually a form of wisdom?
Hmm.
What if it allowed us to be more open-minded,
Okay.
more curious, more willing to learn and grow?
You called this being lost as liberation,
Right.
which sounds kind of paradoxical.
It does, doesn't it?
But I think I get it.
It's like when our old ways of seeing the world fall apart,
Yeah,
it can be disorienting,
it can.
but it also creates space for something new to emerge.
Right. So it's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. It's an opportunity.
Like those times when we feel most lost, those are often the times when we're about to have like a breakthrough
Exactly.
in our understanding of ourselves, of the world.
It's like the ground has to shift beneath our feet
Right.
before we can find our footing in a new way.
Now, there was this whole narrative about the first and second Adam that I found really interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's a specific interpretation that Carnage 1nOnly shared.
Yeah, and it's pretty deep.
It is. It's basically about this idea that the first Adam
Yeah.
represents humanity's fall into forgetfulness
Forgetfulness of what?
of our true nature,
Okay.
of our divine connection.
Yeah.
So it's like we forgot who we really are,
Right.
and we started to believe in this illusion of separation.
And the second Adam.
Well, he's often understood as Jesus Christ or Yeshua.
Right.
And in this interpretation, he's seen as the Logos incarnated.
Logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of it as the divine reason
Okay.
or the underlying principle of the universe embodied in human form.
So he came to like wake us up,
Exactly.
to remind us of who we really are.
Yeah, and his message, according to this interpretation,
Yeah.
is that the kingdom of God isn't out there somewhere.
Right.
It's within us.
Okay.
The path is about returning to our true selves.
To our authentic selves.
Exactly. And, the breaking of the veil at the crucifixion
Yeah.
and the overcoming of death. These are seen as symbolic acts.
Oh, interesting. They shatter the illusion of separation
Okay.
and mortality.
So it's like we're not as limited as we think we are.
Exactly.
Our spirits are eternal.
Yeah. And speaking of authenticity,
Yeah.
there was a speech you shared where you talked about that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you called it your superpower.
Did I?
Yeah.
I like that.
It's such a powerful concept.
It is.
The
Yeah.
ability to be genuinely yourself.
Yeah, to show up in the world as who you really are.
Exactly.
Without pretending.
Without fear.
Yeah.
Without trying to fit into some mold.
Yeah. And it's so important for connection, too.
Absolutely.
Like, people can spot a fake from a mile away.
They can.
But when you're being real,
Mm.
when you're not afraid to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
that's when you can really connect with others.
It's like you're giving them permission to be themselves too.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where the magic happens.
And this all ties into self-love too.
Oh, which is another big theme that came up.
Self-love is foundational.
It is.
It's the bedrock of everything.
Like you got to love yourself first
Yeah.
before you can love anyone else.
Before you can truly show up in the world.
Right. And that means like self-compassion, acceptance,
Yeah.
self-care.
All of it.
It's about being kind to yourself.
Yeah, treating yourself with the same love and respect that you would offer to someone you deeply care about.
And the last thing I want to touch on
Okay.
is love itself.
Love.
It's portrayed as this transformative force in the sources.
Yeah, love is powerful.
It is.
It has the ability to unite us, to heal us, to uplift us.
Yeah. And it's not just an emotion, right?
No, it's so much more than that.
Like it's a call to action.
It is.
It's about like making the world a better place.
Yeah, and the excerpts you shared really emphasize that.
Yeah.
It's not about sitting around and feeling lovey-dovey.
Right.
It's about going out there and doing something.
Yeah, like actively working towards a more just and equitable world.
Exactly. And there's also a lot of discussion about the different dimensions of love.
Okay.
From eros, which is like passionate love, to agape, which is more like selfless devotion.
Yeah, like universal love.
Yeah, and everything in between.
It's like love is multifaceted.
It's
It's complex.
and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what else is beautiful?
What?
The way that true love doesn't demand that someone change who they are.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
It doesn't try to force them into a mold.
Right.
It accepts them as they are.
With all their flaws.
And all their strengths.
It's about creating a safe space for them to grow.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
we've covered a lot of ground.
Yes.
We've talked about the power of our inner world, our imagination, our inherent divinity,
Right.
and how that connects to our relationships and
Yeah.
our understanding of the world around us. We've explored how challenges, even suffering,
Right.
can be catalysts for growth,
Yeah.
and how creativity can be a channel for healing and connection.
Right. Right.
We've also talked about the importance of questioning knowledge and finding wisdom in uncertainty.
Yeah.
And, of course, the journey towards authenticity and love.
It's amazing how all these themes are interconnected.
They are.
It's like they're all part of this larger tapestry.
Of human experience.
Yeah. And I think the big takeaway here is that growth isn't linear.
It's not.
It's messy.
It is.
It's a process.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
As a final thought for our listeners, I want to leave you with this question. What might happen if you fully embraced both your unique individuality
Okay.
and your inherent connection to something much larger than yourself?
That's a good one.
What possibilities might open up for you,
Yeah.
for your growth, for your contribution to the world?
Yeah, what if the forgetfulness we talked about isn't about losing some divine essence,
Right.
but simply about not yet recognizing the power you already possess?
The power that's already within you.
Yeah. And what if you could tap into that power?
Even amidst all the uncertainty of life.
Right.
What if you could embrace that divine spark?
Yeah, what if?
I think that's worth pondering.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.
Yeah, take care.